Hello and welcome to the Milan Talk podcast. I'm your host, Samit Paul. I haven't done one of these in a while, so hopefully I remember how to do it. But I want to kick things off with the 5 key talking points from our 3-0 win over Empoli. First and foremost, a big win, big result. Closes the gap between us and Inter in third, and then obviously stretches the gap between us and the chasing pack for fourth. Puts the pressure on the likes of Roma to now respond this weekend. But overall, a really important 3 points. Gattuso spoke before the game that he was a little bit apprehensive about this being a potential slip-up for us, but 3 points in the bag, job done. We march on and hopefully we can now look up rather than behind us and try and leapfrog Inter. But on to those 5 key talking points now, starting off with Romagnoli's defending. Still only 24 years old, but the level of composure and calmness that he's displaying in his defending now is putting him in a level above the rest of Europe, in my opinion. He never looks rushed. He always looks like he's got a sense of control in every single situation. I think I read a stat earlier this week that only him and Van Dijk are the only defenders in the 5 major European leagues now to have not been beaten by a dribble from an opposition attacker this season. And you could see it last night. Any situation that he was involved in, he doesn't jump in now. He used to pick up a lot of really silly bookings when he first joined us. He's now taking his time. He either reads the game and cuts out the danger before it happens, or he sits back, takes his time, assesses the danger, and then steps in when necessary and snuffs out the threat. So he goes about his business very, very quietly. I think we all appreciate him, of course, but I don't think he gets the level of credit that he probably deserves when the likes of Piatek and Paqueta and others steal the limelight in that sense. But a really, really classy performance from him at the back last night. I really enjoyed watching him play. And a quick shout out to Musacchio as well. I still feel as though he's probably got an error or two in him, lapsing concentration now and again. But overall, the last few weeks, he's been exceptional. And I think Caldara might have a little bit of a problem forcing his way back into the team now that he's on the verge of making his comeback. But Romagnoli, superb. Also wanted to talk about Andrea Conte's impact. Got the nod for the first time in God knows how long. I think I read well over a year since his last start. Looked okay defensively. I think there's certain moments where he was probably lacking that bit of sharpness, got caught out. Obviously, he doesn't lack pace, but I think because of that lack of sharpness that he's still got to get back, he got caught out a few times in behind down that flank. But overall, I think he was decent on the ball. Got a great touch as well to kind of, even when the ball was kind of hammered towards him, his first touch always brought it under control. And then, of course, his attacking threat that he brings to that right flank. Got his assist as well for Castillejo's goal. And I think that's now 3 assists in 8 games this season, and he's not even been involved in all those, 90 minutes in all those 8 games. So the threat that he offers going forwards is exceptional, and I don't actually even see it as a problem that, is it Calabria or Conte, who should we start? I think it's just great that we should embrace the fact that we've got 2 quality right backs that we can choose from who are still young, who are going to improve, and who are both showing real desire and real quality on the pitch whenever they get an opportunity. So really pleased with Conte's impact, having got the start. Good to see Biglia back. Didn't get a great deal of minutes. Probably maybe could have come on a bit earlier given that we were 3-0 up. But really good to see him back. Bakayoko's made that position his own, so I think he's not going to budge. I think that he's going to be in the starting lineup for the foreseeable future. Long may his good form continue. But to have Biglia back, that experience, the kind of depth, the quality depth at this stage of the season. We've got Lazio in the Coppa Italia coming up this week. Will Gattuso rotate? Well, do you know what? He's now got the option, and I'm sure he's going to appreciate that, and he'll love having Biglia back in the side. So, crucial time of the season, and we're getting key players back from injury, and that can only be a good thing. So, really pleased to see Biglia back. Castillejo stepped up last night. I said before the game in a tweet that I wanted to see him step up and make a difference. I think prior to last night, he only had 2 goals and 2 assists in about 20 odd games so far this season. Granted, it's difficult when you're not playing consistently in the starting lineup. It's difficult to kind of get that rhythm and consistency in your game. But the key thing for him is that if he's not warranting a starting place, then he has to deliver when he gets an opportunity. Last night he did. Great assist for Kessie's goal, really nice through ball. And then obviously great movement in the box and a really tidy finish to get the 3rd goal for us. Still moments where he frustrates. There was a couple of times, I think he had 3 corners in a row, or there was a couple of crosses coming out from the right flank from him that couldn't beat the first man. Other situations where Conte was offering an overlapping run and he just completely, I wouldn't even say he ignored it. I think he's just got to pick his head up sometimes and look for the right pass rather than immediately trying to cut in and take a shot or immediately looking for Piatek. He's got to look on the outside. Conti was making some great runs. Kessie was making some great runs on the overlap. So it'd be good to see him kind of do better and build some chemistry with them. But overall, like I said, I was looking for an impact. I was looking for a decisive performance, and we got one with an assist and a goal. So can only be happy with him as well. And then finally, Piatek's movement and finishing is just different class. If you go back and have a look on Twitter, Milan Talk won. There was 4 images I shared of the build-up to his goal. Firstly, he drags the defender out coming towards the ball. Then he spins around him to kind of create that space, gets in behind, and then he makes that last final dart in front to get in front of the defender when the ball comes in, and he's there to tap in and get his 7th goal in 6 games for us. That is the sign and the instincts of a natural born goal scorer. And, you know, a lot of people are probably still a little bit apprehensive, saying that, yep, fast start, really impressive so far, but is he going to be able to sustain it? Is he going to be at, number 9 essentially for the foreseeable future for a number of years and continue to score goals consistently? If you watch his goals and you analyse it and break them down, I am 100% confident that he will be the man to do so. As long as he continues to get that service, his movement in the box is second to none. He's got the ability to sniff where to be at the right time, and that separates him from being a decent striker to a potentially world-class striker for me. And I don't see this goal-scoring run stopping. As I said, the service needs to continue. As long as that service, quality service, comes into him, I think he's going to continue scoring goals. The one thing that I didn't like last night in the first half was that I thought he was a little bit too isolated. I would like to see the likes of Paquetá and Çalhanoğlu, Kessie, Suso when he plays. I want them all to get a little bit closer to him. I know that one of his strengths is to get in behind the defence and his movement and the channels and everything. He's got so many good attributes, but I feel as though we need to get closer to him and make the most of what he can do off the ball as well as in the box. But another really impressive performance from him, and absolutely loving his goal scoring form to start, and long may it continue, and I genuinely do believe that it will. So hats off to him as well. On to your Twitter comments and questions, starting with at MDCoop3. Very confident about the top 4, team looking cohesive and tactically sound. Without a world-class midfielder, Piatek's movement and clinical ability is what Milan need from a striker. Still a piece or two away from the Scudetto, but what position player you think gets it there? I'm still looking at the left flank for me. Çalhanoğlu is now stepping up. Again, I think we kind of saw him be decisive in different positions on the pitch with his assist, obviously, for Piatek's goal. That obviously came from him running inside more centrally and then onto the right flank to cross in. But I think he's now starting to play a bigger role in the final third on the left flank. But I would like to see a different dynamic in that position. I think we need a pacey, direct, young, hungry winger on the left flank to kind of complement and give balance to what Suso offers, and to give Piatek that different look, if you like, to kind of have somebody who's able to keep up with him and allow him to get into the box ready for the cross to come in on the counter-attack, for example. Looking at Deulofeu last night, his hat-trick for Watford, is he the right man for the job? We were linked with him in January. Could go back for him again in the summer. Potentially he could be the solution. Another young player, fits the mould of what we're building. And, I can see him growing. He obviously had a big impact when he was with us on that loan spell. Bring him back, see what he can do, might be the solution. But yeah, I think we're good in most positions now. I think we've got depth in the defence. Donnarumma looks like he's settled and back to his best. You've got Conti and Calabria at right back. You've got Rodriguez and Laxalt at left back and Strinic. Midfield, Bakayoko, Biglia. Kessie's there, maybe another alternative for Kessie, still missing, I guess. Paquetá's there. Çalhanoğlu will obviously rotate with him. Bonaventura comes back next season. You've got plenty of attacking options in that left of the 3 midfielders. Suso and Castillejo maybe now rotating between those two. And then you've got Piatek and Cutrone up front. So I think priority for me still remains the left wing, and I think that will take us to another level and give us a different dynamic and look in the final third, which is what we need. So definitely a left winger. At Milanista11, Joe Milanista, tonight's win was a great performance. We're convincingly beating every team we should at the moment, which shows that we're not just getting results, but we're really beating teams. The race for 4th will be tight, but I think we're better than the teams competing in and around. Piatek is hands down the best striker we've had in years. The impact he is having is sensational. I can't imagine a game without him scoring right now. We're in such a great place at the moment. We look competitive and ready to return to the Champions League, which hasn't been the case for a long time. Can't disagree with anything you said there, Joe. Like you said, convincing. I think the first half was a bit shaky. I think we could have done better. We looked a bit flat after the initial period when Paqueta's goal was disallowed. But second half, clinical, convincing, very ruthless, and that's exactly what we want to see, especially against the lower table teams. So very impressed with that. Piatek looks like he's going to score every single game. Like I said, the movement that he gives the creative players in our squad, he's always going to get chances, and it's just about taking them. And at the moment, he looks like he's incapable of missing those chances. So putting us in a very, very good spot for the Champions League. And yeah, like you said, 12 months ago, I think we probably would have bottled this kind of game under Montella. I think we lost to Empoli at home last season, didn't we? And I think similarly, going in at half-time 0-0 last season, probably most of us would have sat there and thought, yeah, we're probably going to get caught on the counter-attack here and lose this game more than likely rather than winning it. So really impressed to see us kind of go out with that attitude in the second half and get the job done. Joe also asks, do you think we can potentially leapfrog Inter? Personally, I think we should be looking up, not just to remain where we are. What is the key area we need to improve if we want to do that and win the Coppa? I think we can leapfrog Inter. I think the mess that they've got going on with Icardi, don't know when that's going to be sorted out. You can't take someone like him out of the team. Yes, he's going through a goal drought and he's obviously got the contract issues off the pitch with Wanda having her say. But I think you take goals and the quality out of that team that he provides, the captaincy as well, switching arms. It's going to impact them in a negative way, I think, in the long term. The longer it drags on, I think the more chance we've got of leapfrogging them. Our form at the moment suggests we can do it, so why not? We should definitely be looking up as well, trying to get that third spot. Key area we need to improve and how to win in terms of winning the Coppa. I think we just need to be a bit more proactive in games. I think you've mentioned it a few times on Twitter now as well. The quality that we've got in this team, I feel like we can do more on the ball rather than kind of being reactive, especially against teams in and around us. I feel like there's always a tendency to kind of regress and go back into our defensive shell and then show spurts of when we can be at. Like against Atalanta, for example, I do feel as though there was a fine line between being defensively organised and being too negative. I think with the likes of Calhanoglu, Suso, Paqueta, Piatek, Bakayoko, the way he's playing, Kessie with that finish last night, I think we can take the game to teams more and we can make life easier for ourselves and get great results playing great football. We're doing really well at the moment, but I think that probably is the one area in which I think we can take ourselves to the very next level and definitely be in with a shout of seeing off Lazio and win the Coppa Italia. So fingers crossed we get to see that. At Samir Mohammed 72, first 10 minutes we did well, then very shaky the entire first half. Second half, complete turnover, and the entire team played great today. No complaints, maybe, except Matteo was a bit shaky. If we keep playing the same way, hell yes for top 4, maybe even third, provided we don't get any injuries. Piatek needs more crosses or passes. He's behind Messi in Europe's top 5 leagues with less chances, and that's insane. Hope he doesn't get any injuries along the way. If he's fit, he will be the best striker in the world. Again, similarly, can't disagree with anything you said there. Your assessment of the game, spot on. Very bright start. Pretty poor in the first half overall, but second half, completely different story. And yeah, aiming for third, why not? And Piatek, yeah, fingers crossed the whole team now can stay clear of injuries. We're getting people back. And I think if we've got a fully healthy squad between now and the end of the season, then top 4 and the Coppa Italia are certainly realistic objectives that we can aim for. So fingers crossed on the injury front. At TRQ_super rookie, I'd like to note that after Barini came in, Milan started playing in the 4-2-3-1 formation, and I really loved it. The ball was moving and the players always had an option to pass to. It was a great win, but I still insist on Milan playing on a 4-2-3-1 formation. Excellent observation, and yeah, I agree. I think that, as well as the fact that we continue to push for a 4th goal, I just found it really reassuring. And to tie in with your point, switching to that formation and kind of having those players in those positions, we did look like there was a bit more of a spring in our step. There was more quick passing, a bit more chemistry, and there was certainly positives to take away from that. Whether we do, I don't know. Gattuso seems to be hell bent sticking with the 4-3-3. I'm glad he ruled out playing the 4-4-2 again after the game. I really don't think that suits us at all, so I don't want to see that come back. But if we do switch formations, then yeah, spot on. 4-2-3-1 would certainly be welcome. Moz at Mr. GL, excellent win. Hakan actually looked confident tonight. Piatek, I have no words. Glad Conti and Biglia are healthy and available for the home stretch. Based on Suso's current dip in form and Samu's scintillating performance tonight, do you think Reno will keep Suso on the bench? Just to start with your points before, Hakan, confident, absolutely. I'm absolutely thrilled with the way that he's now starting to perform the last 2 games. That goal against Atalanta was sublime, and the movement and the assist against Empoli last night was brilliant to see as well. I think he is getting that confidence back. I think he is kind of rediscovering his belief, and by the looks of his Instagram activity, he seems to be pretty happy off the pitch again now. So let's just hope that this is now a start of a really important run for him, because I think he's going to be absolutely inspirational for us. Conti and Biglia healthy and available, absolutely delighted as well, agreed. With regards to Suso and Castillejo, I probably wouldn't go that route for now. I think Suso, you got more consistency, more reliability, and I think he is definitely the better of the 2 players on his day. Yes, I agree with you. The dip in form, especially in the latter stages of the season, which seems to happen every single year, he needs to kind of snap out of that now. You know, he's had the weekend off with the suspension. Let's hope he comes back reinvigorated and ready to make a big difference. But Castillejo, excellent performance last night, but there's just still question marks if he can do it consistently. I understand that the argument is that he's got to play consistently to show us that he can do that. But as I said before last night, I think there's only 2 goals, 2 assists in 25 odd games. So he really does need to be more consistent and showcase what he can provide week in, week out, whenever he gets the opportunity, whether it's the last 15, 20 minutes of a game, whether it's a start. Only then I think that we can start saying that, yeah, he really is pushing Suso for a place in the starting lineup. So let's just see how that goes. Right, guys, that's a wrap on the podcast for this week. Thank you for tuning in. Again, I appreciate you for sticking with it and coming back to listen to me go on about Milan. It's been a while since the last podcast, but I am going to be ramping things up in the coming weeks and on the site milantalk.com. Follow on Twitter and Facebook at milantalk1 for more reaction and thoughts throughout the week and ahead of Tuesday's game against Lazio. But until then, thanks for listening and Forza Milan.